welcome back. This is another Game Smash podcast. As always, I'm your host, William Liberty, and with me today is...
Fawwaz Muhammad Yusuf.
And let's just jump right into what we've been playing recently. So, first game that I've been playing recently, I just got for the PC, The Witcher 2. And it's pretty good. It's pretty good overall. I mean, there's a couple good things, there's a couple bad things about it. Yeah, the first...
As with most games.
Yeah, as in most games. First thing I want to say, story's great. I love the... there's a character called Iorif, who's a elf, and he's a complete dick, and he's a douchebag, and he pretty much wants to kill almost all the human characters in your party. And he's awesome. I love him. And, so overall, the story's good. And the one thing I will say is, I'm starting with 2. I haven't played 1 at all. And even so, it's kind of a good thing, because it's kind of got that Mass Effect 2 scenario where it's you don't have to play 1 to appreciate 2 story. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So you can kind of just jump right into 2 and be like, okay, I think I get the gist of it. I will say that one thing story-wise is it kind of... I don't know if this was inspired by Game of Thrones or Game of Thrones-esque, is the amount of gratuitous sex in this game is unbelievable. Literally, the game starts with a fully nude, character just on screen. And I'm like, wow, they didn't pull any punches. Jesus. But the one thing I will say is that I had to get a graphics card for the game, and for it to play, because it's a pretty graphics heavy kind of game, because it came out I think in 2012, I think was the exact time it came out. But I found that I have problems with it because I end up saving a lot, right? So, just because the game can be difficult at times, and I feel like I ended up saving so many, save files that it ends up bogging down the game. I'll be like, alright, I want to play Witcher 2 again. So I start up I go on load save, and the load save will actually work in about 10 minutes. It literally takes about 10, and it's not just is this just my computer? I went online, and apparently for the PC version of this game, this is a very common problem. If you're playing on high graphics, which is what I bought the graphics card so I could play it on high graphics, right? Apparently the load times for, saved files are ridiculously long, to the point where it almost seems like the game is, frozen. So there was a couple of times where it's I was literally just about to give up, and I was like, there's no way. There's no way that this is actually still running. And then all of a sudden, boop, I'm in the game. So there's a couple of technical things that are not great. And, I mean, the combat is, it's pretty fun. It's pretty action-oriented, but I find that the lock-on system is very hard to understand, and there's a lot of times where you'll kind of roll into an enemy, and then you'll just get insta-killed.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's
I've heard it isn't very what's that word? It isn't very accessible.
Yeah, it's definitely it's hard to get into. You could play it on an easier difficulty, and it might be a little bit easier, but this is it's a pretty hard game, to say the least. And then other than that, I've been playing Skullgirls. I forget when they released the new character Elysia. Which is this Egyptian
chick, right?
Yeah, the Egyptian character. And I'll say this, I love how they go, when they make a new character as DLC, it's free for the first couple of months. So, you can literally just go to the store, download it, and bam, you got a new character right away.
Yeah.
And they put a lot of work into this character. The amount of animation and stuff that's in this character. She can switch from a human form to a cat skeleton form. It's pretty well done. And considering they're giving you that for free, it's I was pretty impressed. And
it's a pretty small team too.
Yeah, it is a small team, but I think it's a little bit more of a balanced team overall. I don't know. This is me slowly trying to get into the world of fighting games, so I'm still kind of new. I'm not at your level yet, Fawwaz. One day I will get there. Yeah. But yeah, what have you been up to?
Okay, well, let me just so don't have to go
Just
through this
say it.
every
Just
week.
say it. We're all waiting for
You
it.
have like I always like Hearthstone is standard, So let's
Yeah.
just get that out of the way. The new expansion pack just came out, so I've been playing it even more.
Yep.
I'd actually kind of stopped playing it for a while, like the past 2 months. But the new expansion
Yeah.
pack just came out with a bunch of new cards. So I built a new deck, and I'm trying to get it to I'm really liking the deck because when I
Mm.
started playing the game had been in beta for like 6 months. So by the time I
Yeah.
started playing the game, like the meta had been settled. The popular decks already,
Right.
the popular decks were already built. There wasn't any room for innovation, right?
Yeah.
But with the expansion pack, everybody is starting on the same footing, on
Yes.
equal footing. So, I actually built this deck from scratch by myself, and I'm really proud of it. It's gotten me to rank 6. I'd have been even higher,
Mm-hmm.
but my internet was like, nope, nope, that's
Nope.
enough Hearthstone for you.
Yeah, we're cutting you off, Fawwaz. You've had enough for one day.
So yeah. It cut out in the middle of a game that I was well on my way to winning,
Yep.
but then counted for a loss. So yeah,
Uh,
I'm trying to get to rank 4 with that, and I'm trying to hit legend with that. Sorry.
yeah.
But anyway, other
Anything
than Hearthstone,
else?
I've been playing NBA 2K14.
Ah, there we go. Is it
Yeah.
good?
So you see, just as an aside, I don't buy. I love basketball. I love basketball,
Mm-hmm.
but I do not buy any game that comes out every year because I think it's ridiculous that I could buy a game and then the game is
It's done.
outdated
Like it's outdated. Yeah.
like 12, not even 12 months, because the new version will be announced like 6 months later. So like six
Exactly.
months later, there's already a better version of the game. I already know a better version of the game. So I think that's ridiculous, and I don't buy annual games. I only got this because it was free on PlayStation Plus, but I've
Right.
enjoyed it so far. I've only played one mode. Is this mode called My Player, where it's pretty much self-explanatory. You unlike how in most sports games you play 5-on-5, or 10 on
Yeah.
10
Yeah.
if it's soccer, right?
Exactly.
With this, you build one player and you only use that player ever. So it's like you are playing a real basketball game, give or take.
But definitely a lot more features than some of the other ones. At least what you're
Yeah,
mentioning seems relatively new.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think 2K have been putting it in their games for a while, but I don't know if EA have a mode like that in their sports game,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
sports game, so I can't comment on that. But it's a lot of fun. You level up your character, you build up your fan base, and I'm assuming right now, which probably helps you get into the All-Star game later on. And it's just a lot of fun, especially for someone like me who loves basketball. It's the only mode I've played so far, which is funny because there's a
Hmm.
ton of modes in the game. Two issues I have with the game is that, one, the menus are horrible.
Just
Whoever designed that menu should not work in design.
yeah. Like
Period.
I
That should be
like
taken out back and have a couple clips put in his forehead, because
uh
the menu is so unintuitive. And then on top of that, the modes aren't explained very well.
just
You,
just
you,
just user kind of like just trying to explain stuff. It's I guess it just doesn't do it very well.
yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
explain how a lot of these modes work. Yeah, you just have to go in there and figure them all out yourself, which is fine.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Yeah.
modes that I just haven't even bothered with because I don't understand how they work. And then the menus are painful, and the load times, oh my god.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and the game crashes a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
All of that, I've enjoyed it, and that's my game. So yeah,
Okay.
that's my game.
All right, so off of that, let's just jump right into what we've been hinting at since last week, the PlayStation Experience. So I got a little list of games that were shown at PlayStation Experience, and we'll just jump right into it. First off, Uncharted 4. All right, Fawwaz, I know this is clearly your game of the year, so I want you to talk about it in great detail.
Okay, so this is probably going to what's that word called? It's probably going to reduce the validity of my criticism. But I'll be honest with you, I
Yep.
couldn't even make it through the gameplay trailer. I
Mhm.
was just watching. I started watching it, and then I found myself falling asleep.
Mhm.
So I was like, you know what? Screw this. I don't.
You skipped ahead. Yeah, basically.
I just do not care enough. Yeah, I went to go make myself a sandwich or something like that.
Well, here's the thing with me is like I like some of the Uncharted games. Like I really think Uncharted 2 is the best out of all of them, in my opinion. But when I saw Uncharted 4, I was looking like, this is on an island and it looks very, very similar to Uncharted 1. Like, Uncharted 1, you go on an island and you're just sort of doing, typical stuff. And I was kind of like, we've already kind of done this already, so we can't really, they can't really think that revisiting the old stuff that we've already seen is a good idea. It seems like a step backwards, in my opinion.
Yeah, I in general, I just don't think this game. I know I'm in the minority because everyone seems to be excited for this game, but I don't think this game should even exist to begin with. Like, looking at Naughty Dog's track.
Here's the thing. Like, I played Uncharted 3, right? They ended the trilogy. I feel like they ended it on a really decent note. Like, I didn't think Uncharted 3 was as good as Uncharted 2, but I still think that they ended the series on a good note. So the fact that they're going back and the game is called A Thief's End, so I can basically much confirm that they're probably going to kill off Nathan Drake at the end of this game, or something's going to happen to him. So it's kind of like, why would you make a fourth game just to end it again when you've already ended it? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you why. How much did the last Uncharted sell?
I don't know.
Well, Uncharted is one of Sony's highest selling.
Yeah, it is. So it was a money thing.
Outside of Gran Turismo and Crash Bandicoot, I think Uncharted is actually Sony's highest. I think it's their third highest selling franchise. So that right there is your.
Yeah. But I want more Last of Us. That's the thing. I would rather see more Last.
Okay. Honestly, here's the thing: is that I like the world of The Last of Us, but I feel like the story of Joel and whatever her name was.
Really, Ellie.
I feel like it's wrapped up. I feel like they wrapped it up pretty well, and a sequel would just be pointless. I love the open-ended nature of the ending, which is something I rarely ever like. I really enjoyed the game, and I felt like it was complete, and they should just not. I mean, they can touch that world, make a spin-off.
Well, almost make a spin-off. Like, there's a couple of,
I don't think they should touch those characters again. I think I hope that's the last we see of the two of them. Yeah. Because I don't know. Like, I'm in the minority where I don't like sequels in general. There's exceptions there. Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 3.
Yeah.
Fallout 4.
Hell yeah.
Decides to drop that on us. But for some games, for very, very story-driven games, I don't like sequels for them. I mean, look how amazing BioShock 2 was. I mean, granted, Infinite, made up for that. But BioShock 2 was horrible. It was garbage, because like BioShock 1, it was a very nice story-driven game.
Exactly.
Itself up, and there was no need for a sequel. So, but before I digress, I just don't see the point of Uncharted 4. I don't think it should exist. Very few video games can make it to 4 on the same engine. The only franchise that has made it, one of the few franchises that has made it that far is Mario, and that's because Mario keeps switching up. Like, once you get to 4, you start feeling tired. God of War Ascension, Halo 4, Gears of War Judgment, the game that everyone forgets exists. Once you make it to it's like movies. Once movies get to part 3, it's usually bad. With video games, it's 4. 3, you start feeling fatigue, and with 4, it's just like. The feeling of been there, done that is just too serious, you know?
But let's move on to another one because we'll be talking about sequels. Yeah, on a positive note. Next up, Bloodborne. Bloodborne was shown. Yay.
Bloodborne, yes. It's funny because as much I don't have much to say about this game because I've been sold for like the longest time.
Yeah, we've already said that we think it's gonna be good and from what we've seen.
I'm not a big fan of the Souls games, and once again, let me not say I'm not a big fan of them because I haven't played them, right?
Yeah, I was about to say.
The games are not aesthetically pleasing to me. I do not like the art direction, and the combat really slow. So I just have
the combat is definitely, because I've played Dark Souls 1 and 2, and the combat is definitely you either like it or you don't. It's Dark Souls especially, it's more about its defensive gameplay.
Yeah.
And it's more about blocking with your shield and taking your time to find opportunities to hit your opponent.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, like the aesthetics are typical medieval kind of stuff, but there is some really cool designs in it. But I
Yeah,
think
yeah. The funny
Bloodborne,
part is that
yeah,
I'm pretty sure I would actually like the game if I played it. I've just
yeah.
never bothered.
Yeah, but I feel
But
like Bloodborne seems a little bit more, it's action oriented and it seems like it's going to be a more
yes, yes.
intense experience.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, exactly. Like it's like when I watched the gameplay, I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to give this game a shot because it's more fast paced than Dark Souls. I love the art direction. There
Yeah.
was this one monster I saw on DualShockers.com. It
Yeah.
was like I think it was a witch, and she was just like a swamp thing covered in eyeballs. It actually
Yeah.
mid my skin crawl.
Yeah.
It is
It almost feels like it's genuine horror. It's like classic horror.
yes. Because the word when I look at any of all the monsters, the word that comes to my mind is just nightmare. Because
Yeah.
it's so beautiful and terrifying. So yeah, I'm really
Yeah.
looking forward to that game. I love how we haven't actually spoken about what they demoed of that game yet.
Like overall, they demoed I guess it's procedurally generated dungeon. I'm not
Yes,
sure the
Chalice
name.
Dungeon, I believe.
I thought it was a pretty good demo. The only thing that was kind of weird is that they had this lady who was basically like there was a Japanese guy who was basically explaining the game, and then the lady was translating what that guy was saying.
Yeah.
And it came off a little bit weird because it was almost like the lady had no idea what this game was about. But other than that, I still think what they shown was pretty neat, and it seemed like the audience got into it enough.
Yeah. I had pretty good because one thing I hate about one thing I hate in video games is when you I hate short video games.
Yeah.
Especially
And the Soul series is definitely not short.
yes, especially with next gen games that are bordering that are like $70 plus tax. If I pay $70 for a game, I want it to last longer than a week.
What about a $40 game that lasts 2 hours?
Do not get me started. Let's just so like when I pay 70, I mean I'm not buying a lot of games at $70 every year. So the few I do buy, I want to last me a while, right?
Yeah.
So I already had faith that Bloodborne was going to be a decent, a pretty chunky game.
Mm.
But then hearing about this dungeon, I'm just like,
yeah, this is what you
like. I'm just ready. Just
ready.
Release the goddamn game so I can buy it. That's just where I am.
That's
right
where we
now.
are.
If they release any more videos, I'm not even going to watch them because I don't care. I'm sold. Like,
exactly. All right. So next up, you're probably not gonna give two shits. Destiny Dark Below. They showed some more DLC.
Yeah, what's that part? So you can do this without.
Well, my basic gist. Okay, I will talk about this. It's more Destiny DLC. It looks all right. I mean, to be honest, from what I saw from Destiny, I got really hyped for it, and then when it came out, and I was like, this looks average. It just looks okay. I mean, I wasn't really hyped for it as some other people. When it came out, I was just like, I'm probably not gonna get this anymore. But I guess at least they're putting some new expansions and stuff like that. Next game, I'm excited for. Yeah, we're just gonna. I don't care right about Destiny that much either. Next game that I am excited for, Killing Floor 2. Oh yeah. You probably know nothing about Killing Floor.
Yeah. I was just about to say, because when they announced it, everyone was really excited, and I was like, did I miss something? So I'm guessing this is
okay.
A PC game,
yeah, this is a PC game. It's basically just a horde mode, but it's an intense, first-person shooter horde mode, and that's it. That's all the game is, but it's just really good at what it is. That's what it is. And there's some awesome stuff with some of the designs are insane. From what they showed for the trailer, there's a guy who has 2 chainsaws for arms, and he just rushes you. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm just like, yes, I want to see more crazy shit like that in my first person shooters. And the thing about it is that Killing Floor 2, I played a lot of it with my friends, and it's just a really good horde mode. And one of the more interesting features about it that makes it stand out is that the entire map, every once in a while, will go into slow motion. So as a team, everyone gets bullet time. And
Oh,
it's really awesome because you're seeing your entire team just in slow motion trying to fight off zombies and stuff like that. And, I think it's going to be pretty good. Like, as long as they keep the similar kind of stuff that we saw before and just make it look better, have maybe some more weapons to choose from, I think it's going to be good. But it is basically just a horde mode kind of game.
okay.
So if you're looking for like a story or anything like that, you're coming to the wrong place.
Ha.
Yeah. What else? What else did they show?
Sony, Santa Monica announced a new IP. They didn't show any gameplay of it, unfortunately, but it was some free to play shooter. So
Which
that
one?
was, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Actually, I've got one. I got one. They announced Shovel Knight for PS3 and PS4. I think.
No, PS4 and PS Vita.
PS Vita. Okay.
Yes.
But yeah, Shovel Knight. I want to see Shovel Knight. I actually played Shovel Knight at a friend's place, and it was actually really fun. It's basically Mega Man. It's medieval Mega Man, and Capcom does
shit.
what?
So hard as shit.
So pretty hard, but fun, and at least they actually give a crap about Mega Man because Capcom sure as hell doesn't at this point.
Yeah, Capcom, that's right.
But yeah, I'm just excited to see that come over. Also, this, they announced this game. It's called Enter the Gungeon. And
Yeah.
I will say this: I'm not the hugest fan of the pixel art. Like I do like pixel art games, but I'm feeling that at this point it's getting really saturated.
Yes.
But I will say this: the tagline "A gun that can kill the past" is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. So I'm a little bit excited for it, but needless to say, I think that we're getting too many pixel style games. Like we need some more other creative styles. I got
Well,
nothing. No, okay, yeah.
Sorry, there's a new game from the people who developed one of my favorite Vita games, Guacamelee, Drinkbox Studio.
Oh yeah,
which
it's
is a big
Severed.
studio. Sorry.
Nice. It's Severed, right? Is it
What?
Severed?
Yes, Severed.
Yeah.
Severed. I wish I was more excited for that game because
The aesthetics, the presentation looks really good. Like
yes, but I read about the gameplay, and apparently it's like a Fruit Ninja type game where you're swiping at the screen, and I'm just not excited for it.
Yeah.
But the reason why I brought that up was because you were complaining about the graphics, and I'm like, yeah, have you played Guacamelee?
Yeah, I've played a little bit of it. I enjoyed it, and I really like the aesthetics in that game.
Yes,
Like,
that is one of the prettiest games. Well, that's one of the prettiest two-dimensional games anyway on the PlayStation Vita. And yeah, it uses its own very, very relatively unique art style. Doesn't rely on the pixel art style that I think everybody agrees is getting a little overdone.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just leading off of that, actually, one section that Sony had that made me simultaneously happy and sad was
Okay.
the Vita section, because
Yeah.
the dude comes on stage, right?
Right.
And he's like, people keep sending me text talking about tweeting. Sorry, not text.
Yeah.
This is 2014. People keep tweeting at me talking about how Sony doesn't care about the Vita anymore. He's like, yes, we do, and I'm here to prove it to you. And then he announces 7 ports. And I'm like, on one hand, a lot of these games I'm going to buy. Like, I never got to play Bastion on the Xbox.
Oh, Bastion is freaking awesome. I love
I'm gonna buy
Bastion.
that. Super Time Force Ultra, which, by the way, is abbreviated to STFU.
Yeah. Perfect abbreviation.
Yeah, Super Time Force Ultra. I might check it out. It looks really cool. It was on the Xbox this year, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out. But like my biggest issue with that was, like I said, it was a bunch of ports of very old games. I mean, Bastion. It was an Xbox. We didn't even get Transistor, the most recent game by the developers. We got Bastion, So on one hand, I'm happy because my Vita is literally collecting stuff. Because there's just nothing. Like, okay, when I bought it, there was a lot of stuff to play, and then I beat everything that there was to play, and now there's
like people say this with the Vita and the Wii U is that the Vita has less games, but more people are buying the games for the Vita, and people are buying when it came out, people were not buying games for the Wii U.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't think you can even put the Wii U in the same sentence as the Vita anymore. Because
yeah.
seriously, look at this year alone. They got Super Smash Brothers, they
Yeah,
got
Wii
Mario
U
Kart
is
8,
doing a lot
they got
better.
Bayonetta 2, and they got the other that wonderful 101. And that's just off the top of my head of a console I don't care about. Like that's four really amazing games. The Vita has gotten nothing this year,
Yeah.
literally. I've been waiting for Hotline Miami 2 all year.
You're never gonna get it for Fawwaz. Just give up. Just give up all hope.
Seriously, it's
Uh,
sad. It's anyway. Let me
yeah,
never go
yeah.
off on that. But
All
yeah,
right. But next game. Another game I know you're excited for. The Order, 1886.
I wasn't sure if you were being sarcastic. But yes, the Order. So just give me 1 minute. I need to go off on a quick rant about the Order.
Okay, here we go.
One of the reasons why I don't like Uncharted is because I feel like the game plays itself.
Okay. We've discussed before, is that it's the Uncharted is like a train track. It's just meant to be a smooth ride with.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. And that's not why I play video games. I mean, my favorite game of last generation was probably Skyrim. So that should tell you the kind of game that I like, right?
Yeah.
But also, I just feel like Uncharted would complete itself even if I wasn't there. So going off of that,
Yeah.
the Order makes Uncharted look like Fallout 3. Seriously, it's a $70 movie at this point because I'm like, I'm watching it. Apparently, you can't even feel the quick time events in this game. So I'm like,
Yeah,
what am I doing?
yeah. I was weirded out when they were saying like when you fail a QuickTime event, it will lead to different QuickTime events, so you can't fail them.
Like,
So
why am I even here? Why don't I just go on YouTube and watch a Let's Play of this game? I mean, just as an aside, the game looks amazing.
Yes, aesthetically it looks good. Like there's a scene in one of the demos where he has this bag and he literally puts together a sniper rifle. You know what I mean? Like he takes the pieces of like a sniper rifle and he puts it together, and I was just like, oh, that looks so fucking cool. But like I said, it does just look like Uncharted. It looks like another cover shooter, and I don't know. We'll have to see, but I do agree with you. It does look like one of those games that it's just gonna be another movie-esque kind of game, and not very
Style over
good.
substance to a fault,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I hope I'm wrong because I'm planning on buying a PS4, and I always want more games. I mean, like despite what people might think, I don't enjoy being right when it comes to games being bad. I actually don't. Like, I wish every game that was released was good. I wish I had so many games
To choose from. Yeah.
I didn't know where to start. But the problem is that like most games just come out, and I'm like, that's anyway. I hope I'm wrong with this game, but I'm about 99% sure I won't be. Moving on.
Moving on. What else do we got? Oh, Tearaway Unfolded.
Tearaway Unfolded.
I thought that when I saw this, I was like, wow, aesthetically, this looks pretty good. And I thought it was pretty neat overall, like from what I saw at the very least. It looks kind of tonally Little Big Planet-esque, but I don't know. What do you think?
I actually like Tearaway. My one I didn't buy it on the Vita, and I know that's kind of a contradiction, but the reason why I didn't buy it on the Vita was going back to my original point. A lot of people were like, the first one, the game is really, 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 really easy. And second of all, is that you beat the game and that's the end of that. Yeah. So I was like, and this is my Vita here. This is like I bought 100 games on my PS3. This is my Vita. If I'm buying a game, I want this game. I'm gonna
to last.
Every drop of value out of that game. So when I heard that the game could be beaten so quickly, I was like, I'm just not gonna bother. Hopefully, on the PS, I hope the game finds it did not sell on the Vita, unfortunately. So I'm glad you're porting it to the PS4. I hope it finds a larger audience. See, if you put color in a video game, you've already sold it. When your game isn't just gray and black, like Order, you've already sold me right out the game. When your game isn't just a cover-based first or third person shooter like the Order, you've already sold me. So I'm like, I want to see this game do well. Yeah. But I hope.
You hope it's just a little longer of an experience.
Yes, exactly. Right. But the one I was kind of disappointed because when I heard, because when I went with like Media Molecules on stage, I was like, oh my god, are we gonna see? Because apparently they're working on something else other than Tearaway. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, are we gonna see what they're working on? And then
Mhm.
it's like, no, they just showing us Tearaway, which is fine. But
Yeah.
I was hoping we'd see their new IP. But then I guess
Well,
that was kind
the
of
problem
silly
with
of
that
me.
is that if it's like, we already know the Tearaway's coming, but then they announce something else, and everyone's gonna be
Yes,
they'll be focused on that new thing, and then
yes,
they'll
yes.
forget to buy Tearaway. You know what
Yeah,
I
that
mean?
was kind of silly of me to even assume because we're not going to see their new IP until after
Yeah.
Tearaway comes
Yeah.
out. So yeah, but that
Yeah,
was
yeah,
cool.
yeah. Next game I got on the list, Until Dawn. So yeah, that would now this is something I also wanted to bring up with the overall presentation. I found that there was a lot of points in the overall presentation, not just this game, but just the PlayStation experience in general, where they would cut to the audience like looking for a reaction, and they would
Yeah.
just be like uninterested or texting on their phone. Like there's some very poorly planned shots of the audience,
Yeah,
and I
the
thought
audience did seem to be really into that
and
game.
but that's exactly what I loved about it is that even though I was like, it looks Heavy Rain-esque, I was like, but they got
It
the
looks,
audience involved in a good way. Like
yeah,
they got
yeah,
like, which do you want us to run or do you want us to hide? And they just had people shouting like that. That was awesome. Like I thought that was a really great way to get people into the experience. And it's
With
like,
that said, it looks like it looks like Heavy Rain that forgot all the things that made Heavy Rain good.
I was a little bit baffled by the like there was very few quick time events like
It's not even that there was very few gameplay. It wasn't even a point and click adventure. It was
yeah.
it was like a binary video game. Literally, the game starts and it's like X or Y, and then you pick Y, and then you move, and then you watch a cutscene, and then it's like X or Y, and then you pick X, and then you see another cutscene, and it's like
Yeah.
X or Y, and I was like, wow, if this is what the game is, like anyway,
yeah, but I don't know. I feel like the one thing I will say is that like I unfortunately, you know how much I hate Beyond Two Souls. So I feel like this kind of game, maybe with like kind of not taking itself too seriously,
yeah.
I feel like maybe that would be the better direction to go with these kind of games. But anyway, that's sort of just me. But anyway, next game. Okay, probably not. Square Enix came on stage and and everyone was like, "Oh, please, is this the day?" And it's like Final Fantasy 2, not 2, Final Fantasy 7 port coming to PS4.
Oh my god, that dude is a troll. I want to meet that guy so I can shake his hand for trolling the entire world. It's like, okay, I'm the head of a company that's currently working on two of the most anticipated RPGs in recent memory, Kingdom Hearts 3 and Final Fantasy 15. I'm going to come on stage during this really big event and announce a port to a video game that's almost as old as the brand. And that's what I'm announcing the game for.
I was just baffled because it's like everybody wants them to just do a remake of 7, and it's like, well, here's a port, and it's like we already have a port.
Just to I'm in the camp that believes that I actually prefer a port over a remake. There's nothing. I don't see the point of a remake. Okay, like we've been there, we've done that, right? If you're going to just release it so that people can replay it on their PS4s and all that stuff, then fine. I just my problem with the announcement was that it seemed like something you would announce during a PlayStation blog, not something you'd announce at a big event like that. Because but I don't like remakes in video games or in movies. I'm like, there's no point in my opinion.
Just kind of go on to a new creative idea instead of treading.
Yeah, exactly. Or I mean. Yeah, so go up there and give us some gameplay for Kingdom Hearts 3 or some gameplay.
Yeah,
for
I want my Kingdom Hearts 3 gameplay. I want a full trailer that's 2 minutes long. That's what I want. I told you when I saw Kingdom Hearts 3 get announced, I think it was last E3. I don't know which E3 it was, but when it got announced, I was like that was the moment where it's like, "Oh shit, finally." Yeah, yes. So I want to see more of that. But anyway, and the last game I've got on my list right now, just to finish off, is No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, and it's I think it's pretty good. They're really selling the fact that it's huge. like you can go to just a million planets on a spaceship.
Yeah.
And the one thing that I do like from what they've shown is that you're in space and you literally do travel through the atmosphere and land. Like, it's not just you pick a planet and you just warp onto the planet. You actually have to travel through the sky and, go actually onto the planet. And I kind of like that about it. But the one thing I will say is that all the guy did was land, fuel up on some resources, and then he left. And I'm kind of like, is that all you can do in this game? Like, that's my one worry.
I don't like games that don't have a goal.
Yeah, so not a huge fan of Minecraft then.
I was just about to say, it's why I could never get into Minecraft. Because, okay, sure, I could build all this stuff, but what am I working towards, Mm-hmm. Where's the alien invasion I'm trying to stop? The zombie apocalypse, I need a goal. And from what I've seen so far,
it just seems like it's more of just explore the universe, and I feel like it's like if they can add just some small little like missions or just things that like give me a task and I will explore the universe to do it. But if you don't,
it doesn't even have to be a story-based task, because look at game Hearthstone. Yeah. My goal is to build up my card collection because and to hit legend, so like give me some kind of goal. So if there's a goal in the game, it definitely seems like a game I could really get lost in. But it's one of those games I'm not going to bother with until the game comes out, and then I'll check it out.
Okay. But anyway, so overall PlayStation experience, what did you think of it, Fawwaz?
Okay, this is tough. Okay. I'm gonna give it two grades, right? And I'll explain my two grades.
Okay.
As a show, period, I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad. It kept me entertained the whole way through. Mm-hmm. They didn't do that stupid thing that Sony loves to do, where they come on stage and start talking about statistics, showing us graphs and stuff like that. That's what gamers love to see on Saturday. But okay. As a show, I'm just gonna give them a 7 out of 10. It was very smooth, very well presented. However, there's an asterisk next to that 7 over 10. My issue with the show was the hype that Sony built up for the show coming into it. Taking all the hype into perspective, I give it a 5, and that's me being generous, because Sony hyped this show up so much, and then I came into, and I was like, you know what, I know how these things go. Okay, so I'm gonna keep my expectations low. I want two new IPs from Sony, because Sony has like 500 first-party studios that don't have any announced games for the PS4. So I was like, just show me 2, and I want a new, because Mortal Kombat 10 was advertised a lot with the PlayStation experience. So I thought that it was a foregone conclusion that there was going to be at least one new character announced for Mortal Kombat 10. So going off that, I went in with low expectations. That was all I wanted to see. I got no new. Not only that, I got no new characters for Mortal Kombat 10. They gave me 2 new IPs. I'll give them that. One of which they did not show us any gameplay of, so I don't even count that. But the other one they showed, it was Drawn to Death. That game actually looks really interesting. I'm gonna keep my eye on it. But like, I came in expecting, I was like, just give me those 3 things and I'll be happy. And they couldn't even deliver on that. They only delivered on 1 of the 3. So based off that, I'm gonna give them a 5.
Yeah, like for me, it was basically when I was watching the event, I was like, they're showing most games, they're keeping game focused, they're not spending too much time on all the other bullshit that nobody cares about.
Exactly.
And I felt that it felt a little bit more focused. But some of those awkward things, like in the Uncharted playthrough, the guy clipping through the world, and just some of those really poorly timed cuts to the audience, I would give it a 7 out of 10. There was a lot of cool gameplay trailers that they shown, but overall, like, it was just sort of it was fine. Like, it wasn't a train wreck.
Yeah,
It
it
could.
was. It wasn't Konami at E3
Oh, fuck
2012,
that.
but
Just fuck that.
but it wasn't. It wasn't. Which one? Which one was Sony's really good? Anyway, whatever. I don't
But
feel
yeah,
like
but
doing
overall, we think it was just good.
yes,
Good
my
enough.
problem with it was that there was no wow announcement.
Yeah.
Like when they announced The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Okay, like this is like I didn't expect this to be announced, but like the reaction that would have happened if they had announced Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, that would have been that would have gotten the audience pretty hyped.
Yeah, there was no announcement that made me be like, oh my god, Sony came to play. Because they came up to this event talking about how they're gonna show us what's what in 2015.
Yeah.
And then I leave the announcement knowing my opinion of their 2015 not changing at all. I still believe the 2015 is Bloodborne early and then nothing. Because the order comes out in February, and you know how I feel about that. And then Uncharted probably comes out in the fall, and you know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
So
maybe some other games. I know Witcher 3 is coming out as well.
Yes.
In early, but yeah, it's gonna. I feel like for next year, it's gonna be a bunch of games come out early, and then it's gonna be a dry season mid, and then everything's gonna come out in October, as usual.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. One last thing.
Okay.
And they kind of lost points for this. Okay, no, sorry. Let me. One thing that was really unfortunate was Street Fighter V's announcement leaking, because that would have been a pretty big, like I would have been shocked because I wasn't expecting Street Fighter V to be announced anytime soon, and I certainly wasn't expecting it to be a PlayStation 4 exclusive.
Yeah.
So if I had been watching the show, Ono came up, announced Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4, and I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then bam, Street Fighter 5, I'd have been like, oh my god, but unfortunately it leaked. So that was really unfortunate for them. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a good show. Yes.
But anyway, I think we're gonna wrap it up here. If you have any questions that you'd like to ask us, just leave something in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. and we'll see you guys next time. See you guys later.